All right, Chip, this is actually a favorite topic of mine. And when I speak, I talk about my grandfather a lot. Influencers can come in a second and they can come in a lifetime. And my grandfather, my grandmother, my mom, my aunt, they came from Kyiv, Ukraine to Canada years and years ago. And he used to take me for walks in the park in Montreal, where I was about 5 years old. And he talked to everybody. It was like amazing. And I one day I asked him, I called him Zeta, how do you know all these people? And to your point in our previous conversation, he said, well, one day, and he pointed, he said, see that guy over there? I looked up and I smiled at him, and he looked up and smiled at me and came over. And then someone else saw us smiling and laughing, and they came over. And my 5-year-old brain, I clearly remember, some would say, my friends still say I still have the 5-year-old brain, but that's a different conversation. But I remember literally thinking, well, life's going to be great. All I have to do is smile. And then you get older and you start complicating it. But then you get wiser and you think it doesn't have to be complicated. It is just a smile that can do it. I know we all have lots of influencers. Can you share two or three that have been influential in your life?
I guess the very first one I can think of, and there's been many. By the way, I have a list of over 100 people. I say 100 people who opened the door for me, including those two women I mentioned earlier.
Wow,
Um,
that's
I
awesome.
think getting into the young adult age, I think Dewey Goodrich, who was the manager of the Sears store in Waukegan, um, picking up the phone and calling down to headquarters and say, I want to put this guy in the MBA program, even though he's an undergrad. That that opened up a whole world for me. I went and visited factories, was interviewed, took tests, was with the heads of departments that, you never have that exposure.
That's great.
Um, the second, I'm going to get three. There's a whole bunch, there's 100, but I'm going to do three. The second one was a guy I was assistant to the president and then ran a group vice president of a public company in Jacksonville. And our in-house counsel, Mel Fruit, was a real character. And, we became friends. But I left. And over the years, he just keep calling me. How are you doing? I'm doing great. And then I was in the phone book business. My partners, I had merged my company with them because Ameritech wanted to buy us. And I thought if we merged, we'd get a better number. But they didn't understand cash flow. So, and Mel was a very good businessman. And I called Mel and I said, here's what's happening. I needed somebody to talk to. Here's what's happening. What should I do? Get out of there. He said, have you ever heard of a thing called, it's Vistage now? Vistage. I said, no. Well, it's a CEO organization, and I'm here in Florida, and, we need some people in Florida. So he opened the door for me to be interviewed and then really build the Tampa Bay market. And that was just a friend helping a friend. And it changed my entire life
Mm-hmm.
dramatically for the better. I mean, I'm so much better because got involved in this community. And then the last one was Red Scott, who owned Vistage at the time. And he tapped me to be president and let me buy stock. And when he first bought the company, I was a chair and I tried to buy it, but didn't. He had a lot of money. I had none. I was going to, owner finance. Good luck with that. Um, and when he first met me, he said, you're the number one chair, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, you should make me president. You live in Atlanta. Let me run it. No way. I'm running this. Forget it. But he started, inviting me up to Atlanta and we went to basketball games and got to know each other. When my two sons became Eagle Scouts, he flew from La Jolla to Tampa to be at their Eagle Scout ceremony. So I mean,
Wow.
became a great friend, and he just opened the door for me into I mean, the all sorts of meeting all sorts of very influential people around the world, and that just once again it just opened up, and I'm so grateful to him and to people like him in my life.
Yeah, doesn't it show us that it should anyway, that we're always influencing people. Sometimes we don't even know we're influencing people. And so it's a choice of being positive or negative, which shouldn't be a choice, really, you would think, a
Yeah,
no-brainer. And generally, what's an expression around Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever, like you feel just as good giving as you receiving gifts.
right.
And that is a gift if somebody just does that, and it's 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 it just breaks things open for you when you do things like that, and in a way
Yeah.
that you might never know what happened, but it does. And so I think we should all remember that, like I said, we're influencing people all the time, and to and go that route. Well, thanks for being influential,
I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress,
aren't
a
we all?
process.
Aren't we all? Thanks.
And thanks for your theme. I mean, we all need to think about that, uh, about everybody being a leader. We're a leader of our own life, and we can bless people by helping them.
100%. Good job. Keep it up.
You too, sir.